Hi, I'm knitwear designer Karina Spencer, and today I'm going to show you how to steam block a cowlette. A cowlette is an accessory that combines the function of a cowl with the look of a shawlette. It's a term I coined in 2012 when I designed Zuzu's petals. Cowlettes have a bandana shape with a narrow top and a wider bottom, and I'm frequently asked about the best way to block them. So today I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to use steam to gently block out your cowlette. For this method, we'll be using an ironing board, an iron with or without steam. If your iron doesn't have steam, you'll need a clean cotton towel, pins, and your unblocked knitting. Slide your knitting onto the end of the ironing board so that the narrowest end of the ironing board is coming out of the neck opening. Straighten the fabric out against the ironing board the same as you would as if you were wet blocking. Use the pins to pin out the bottom of the cowlette into the ironing board cover. You'll probably have to go in at an angle unless you have a really cushiony ironing board cover to work with. Here I'm working with a sample of my Rochambeau cowlette pattern, which has a lacy edge on the bottom, so I'm pinning out the eyelets into a wavy shape. Once you've pinned out as much of the edge as you can, you'll straighten out and stretch the fabric a little bit against the ironing board cover. Then with a hot steam iron, hover over the fabric, allowing the steam to relax and soften the fabric. You want to be really careful not to touch the hot steam iron to the knitting itself. Just hover above about ½ an inch or so and let the steam do its job. You can still use this method if your iron doesn't have steam. I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. Once you've used enough steam, you want to let your knitting cool completely on the ironing board. This just takes a couple minutes. Then you're going to take out all the pins. You can see how your shape is blocked into the bottom of the cowlette. And then you're going to rotate your knitting around the edge of the ironing board till you get to the next section that needs to be blocked. Repeat the process of pinning out the bottom edge the same way that you did before. Remember to straighten and stretch out your fabric a little bit before we hit it with some steam. And this time I'm going to show you how to use a wet towel to create the steam if your iron doesn't have a steam function. So using your clean cotton towel, get it all the way wet and then wring it out, and you'll lay it over your pinned out knitting. And then take your dry iron, nice and hot, and you will touch the iron to the cotton cloth. You don't want to press, just touching the hot iron to the cotton cloth creates the steam that will go into your knitted fabric. If your cloth isn't big enough to cover all of your knitting, you can just lift it up and reposition it to get the parts of the knitting it didn't cover before. And then remember to let your knitting cool all the way before taking the pins out. Rotate your knitting around the ironing board again to the next section that needs blocking. If there end up being any overlapping sections of blocked and unblocked pieces, pin out all the edge, even if it's already been blocked, because once you hit it with steam, the block sections will lose their shape again. So that's all there is to it. I actually always use this method to block my cowlettes and bandana-shaped cowls. Even when I have to wash them, I just let them dry without blocking, and then I use this method because I find it so much easier. So I hope you found this helpful. If you ever wondered how to block this shape of a cowl, I'll link all the patterns that I used for this video in the description, and if you have any questions about this method, feel free to ask me in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy making!